Welcome everyone to another episode of the Happy Cast. We're closing in on episode 200. It's hard to tell when that is going to be, but I felt like it's been like a year since we hit 190. But this is a rare appearance where me and Stephanie are on together, and I'm sure by the end of this we'll talk about how we'll do this more often and then go another month and a half without doing it. So
And
we're
I bet
very,
Andrew's going to stay on for the whole episode, too.
yes, I'm absolutely not going to lag out here in like 35 minutes and not come back on again. But yeah, we're regrouping here and hopefully we can be more consistent. But we have a very special episode. We are joined by the people who basically, like it is a Texas rite of passage to run their races, especially Rocky Raccoon and Bandera, which ironically I have yet to do either of those the fullest distance. So that's probably another reason why I'm no longer really in Texas. But we are super honored to have join with us one of the two leaders of Tejas Trails. We got Chris McWatters and Dave Smithey. Welcome, everyone. This is your first time on the podcast, and it's living up to our reputation of being a mess. So thank you for your patience, but we're super honored to have you guys on, and I know you guys are here to discuss some pretty awesome events coming up that I've been looking into a little bit, and it's like, dang, I need to come out there a bit, maybe experience this in early October. But welcome everyone. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks so much for having us. It's good to see you guys.
So
Yeah,
I travel,
Thanks.
I race out of state, and I swear when I'm racing out of state and they hear I'm from Texas, the first thing I get is Rocky or Bandera. And it's crazy. Like I was in South Dakota, and some guy's first 100K was Bandera. And I was like, I know those races. Like, even though Texas is huge, they can mention a race, and I'm like, I know exactly. I ran that. I know.
hmm
So it is pretty cool I mean, y'all are known all around America.
Well, it means a
It's good to
lot.
hear.
We inherited it, and it's been a joy to keep the tradition alive. And both of you have been massive parts of Tejas Trails from the very core. So it's literally like a big family, and it's really cool when we get to run around and meet people that we have seen once, only, or like oftentimes we'll even run into someone on a trail out in Colorado. Dave's got endless stories of being on some high peak and like, oh man, yeah, I'll be back for my
hmm
eighth, Rocky or my eighth Bandera or Cactus Rose or whatever. So
hmm
it's truly a very humbling thing to hear that. So we really appreciate you all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah,
Stephanie, do you remember when we passed on the trail? It was Rocky, I think, and we were going opposite directions for some reason on the course. And we've met a few times passing, but it's like on a trail and not sure and change clothes. Or is it the passing? Is that? And came to me and I said, "That's Stephanie effing Stonebreaker." And I don't remember why you said that. I think you were hyping yourself up at some time, like I'm Stephanie effing Stonebreaker. And yeah, so and
It is a
I
way.
managed to say it when we passed, and you looked at me like, "Who is this guy?"
I think I've actually changed my last name and then changed
All
it back to
right.
Stonebreaker since then. That's how long ago it was. I've been
It's
married
been a
and
minute.
divorced since then. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to see everybody and get a chance to actually talk rather than just hollering at each other on the trails.
Yeah.
yeah. It's rare seeing each other outside of a trail setting. I'm still Andrew Marvin. I didn't change my. But but yeah,
That's
it's
the
Not yet.
patriarchy right there.
Yeah.
me. I'm not against taking someone else's last name. Marvin's had a good run. I'm Jim on that. But it's been great. Yeah, everyone around the country knows who you guys are. It's kind of, especially in the niche 200 miler community that I've met out here in Colorado. They're like, they your races, and I'm like, oh wow, it is kind of a weird jarring thing. It's like, oh hey, people know about Texas races,
hmm
so they do mean a lot. It was Stephanie and I's background is basically we started because of Rocky Raccoon.
Where the
So
podcast started was at Rocky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great.
mhm, back in
And
2021,
Andrew didn't know what he was
and
doing at
so
that time either. That's why we bonded.
Yeah. Well, we had
yep,
Andrew last Rocky 100 at the Tyler's last stand aid station, and he was awesome helping with medical. But the best was the chicken costume. Was it a chicken costume? I can't remember. But I mean, the number of people I would overhear. Did you see the guy in the chicken costume at the aid station? So you did a great job of keeping it lively and fun, Andrew. So can't wait to see what you come up with next year.
Well, I do believe I'm pretty bad. So the chicken costume, yeah, me and my friend at the time, we just dressed up at chickens going out, and then all of a sudden you guys tagged me in, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm a chicken, but I have nothing else to wear. So it was pretty
Oh,
cool.
seeing you helping people with medical, when you'd walk up to somebody with the medical bag and chicken costume, and they would look at you like, what's going on? But then you were like totally professional. It was hilarious to watch from the sidelines.
When he told me that story, I was like, no, you did not fucking do that. Like,
He did.
you
Well,
did
and the
not. And
best, I know we need to move on, but the best part of it to me was walking out. People were like trying to attach it with some sort of symbolism or metaphor. Like people were like deep in thought at that point of the race. This is later on in it, and we were like, I don't think there's anything to it, man. It's just
Yeah.
No.
our medic's a chicken. He's just dressed like a chicken. That's it.
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah.
tell us the exciting things that are going on, because I don't have any insight. If Andrew knows, he has not shared his insight with me.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to take it away, Dave?
Oh, yeah. And there's tons of great things going on with Tejas Trails. We're coming out of our summer hiatus, or whatever you want to call it. We've got a great lineup for the fall with Mellow, a great tie-dye theme for that one coming out, Trailway with the tailgate party beforehand. So it seems like the months of September and October were already fully packed with those races, Great Springs Trail Race Caverns, which has last person standing. And I'm open to hearing debate, but I think it's the hardest last person standing course in Texas, if not broader. So we'll have to see some really tough last person standing racers come out and try it out at Natural Bridge Caverns. And then we had Cactus Rose, which is got to be the toughest 100
That is
miler
on
in
my
Texas.
bucket list.
Awesome.
Why? I mean, like,
I
it sounds
can't
like
believe-
such a stupid idea.
I'm
Yeah.
shocked you haven't done that one yet, Stephanie. That's
Well,
surprising.
I'm trying to do one in every state, and I did Rocky. So I've got
That's
30
cool.
states. So it's on the list. Like, once I get these last 20, like, Cactus Rose is the one I want to go do. And it's just
I
like,
respect
just
that.
because people have so much fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much, I mean, miserable fun. Like, I can't
It's
imagine what
no
it's gonna-
whiners,
yeah.
wimps, no whiners, wimps, or wusses is the tagline. So
It's not for everyone.
it's as gritty as we love trail running to be.
And I travel so much, and you never know what race company you're getting. Like, there's people that don't have anything at their aid stations. So I'm so self-sufficient as it is, just because I don't know what I'm getting into. I've never stepped on the trail. I don't. So I'm like, that's my cup of tea. Like, I don't need support. I can support myself. So
Yep.
watch me crash and burn. But like in this moment, I think I can do it.
Oh,
Well,
you got it.
You know, to hone in on that real quick, because I know this is a race that a lot of people ask us about, or a lot of people talk about, and a lot of people don't try, because it's literally was made to be as hard as possible. But the backstory of it is actually really cool, and I think it is actually a really great beginner's long distance race. Maybe not 100, maybe, but also like the 25-mile distance, the 50-mile distance. It's actually a really smart race to pick for one of your earlier ones. So if you don't mind, I'll tell you
Yeah,
a little
go
bit
for it.
about kind of the background of it. So Joe and Joyce Crusadis, the founders of Tejas Trails, who don't know, I'm the second owner of the company. And so Joe and Joyce made that event happen because after they invented Bandera trail race, endurance trail run, they had a bunch of smart aleck friends that were like, you know, oh, why don't you make this a 100-miler? You know, this is 100K and 50K and 25K. And so he was like, you know what? If y'all want to do a 100-miler out here, I'll do it. But you think you're so tough, I'm going to make it where I'm not going to put any aid station food out. I'll put water and ice, and I'll have a medical at the finish line, next lap line. And otherwise, you're on your own. put your own stuff out there, and works out really well because the road that passes through the park makes where you can get, everyone can drive and drop their stuff off, and you can put your own ice chest or whatever. So it really turned into this cool thing where people actually ended up learning some of the very basic core things of what trail running is, by having to put their stuff out there, because Joe and Joyce, and now we've carried that torch, and others have taken on similar traits of Tejas Trails, and other race directors that were doing awesome things back then also, were known for doing a lot of aid station support. But this really kind of put everyone in a situation where it's like, okay, I'm going to have to think about a lot more detail. And then that really set them up and sets everyone who takes part in that race up for success at other races, because it is kind of a funny, like, false narrative to think like you're going to go out to some ultra somewhere and they're going to take care of you, because that may not be the case. Even if they advertise they're going to, it may not be the case.
Right.
And not bashing other races. There's crazy things that happen with Mother Nature, and make it where they can't get a restock of water somewhere. I've been in a mountain race where there was no water for, 11 miles further than there's supposed to be no water. So it was, kind of can make you panic if you've never been there, done that. So that's kind of how it started, was to literally be, like he said, if there's 3 ways up this hill, I'm going to take the most gnarly, beat you up through the cactus and Sotal path possible. But secondary to that, it became a great training ground, and that's what spread around, and that's why that race started growing, I think, also. So it's kind of a part of it that a lot of people don't think about. So it is very much an advanced, race. But on the flip side of that, it's a really cool opportunity to go out and do a 25 miler or 50 miler. And then the other part is just how cool it is that now there's not a big to-do like at Bandera or Rocky. It's kind of like more chill, laid back. And therefore, a lot of people's crews take care of each other. People that may not have a crew, all of a sudden they find themselves a part of someone else's family. And it's just this organic thing that, happens at most every race, but really happens more so out at Cactus Rose, because of the way it's laid out. So it's really cool.
It's like you're this big company, but you're able to provide like a grassroots race. Like you at least have one race that's like, I love the grassroots race where there's, only so many people out there in the middle of the night.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Then
the heart
my
of it.
favorite joke that you guys like to play on runners is make sure it rains sometimes every now and then. So got to move to Camp Eagle. I think that's hilarious.
Gosh.
So it's one of my favorite jokes. It's one of my favorite jokes you guys play on runners. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of why you guys are here, what is the response like when the races do have to be moved out there? Because I think it's kind of funny. It's a beautiful place. I love Camp Eagle. Never want to run it though.
It's awesome. It's awesome as soon when you get there. It is a little bit out there, but man, it's a perfect race venue. Just a little far away, but Chris, you've done it more times than I have. So,
well, I'm glad you find comedy in our misery, because it is absolutely torture when it happens behind the scenes, no matter how many times we've had to do it now over the last decade and change. But, it was out in left field the first time it happened. It literally, I got the information out of a new superintendent that worked his way out there and messed the place all up, like on New Year's Eve. And I like literally missed my party at my house. My wife was like, "What are you doing? Like, get in here." And I was like, "I can't explain what I'm doing right now, but I've got to deal with something." And so like there's people like about to fly in from all 50 states, 46 states that year, I think it was, 14 different countries, and golden ticket race, blah, blah, blah. And this guy just like nonchalantly says like, "Yeah, I'm doing things different now. So it's no longer a rain or shine situation." Never communicated that beforehand. I mean, it was unreal. It was like by far one of the worst moments of my professional life, any job I've ever had. And so I called Camp Eagle. I was like, I just started racking my brain, like going through it, right? Like, what can I do? And the only thing I could think of was Camp Eagle. I knew they had a lot of trail, a lot of Jeep road that we don't normally use for our regular race out there. And I knew the staff was flipping awesome. And so I got...
And to interrupt you, Chris is bearing the lead. He was camp director there and built most all those trails. So he knows them like the back of his hand, which means it's really hard to follow his directions, but that's how he can move it to Camp Eagle.
Yeah, thanks for adding. Yeah, and I had been a part of creating a lot of the trail system out there and knew it. Yeah, I could picture it, so therefore I could imagine will this work? And I was like, yes.
It's nothing like being on the phone with Chris and he's like, there are two trees that kind of split on top of that hill. Can you see that? And you're like, dude, there are trees everywhere. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but the one that's got the yellow cactus flower next to it.
Exactly.
Come on. Read my freaking brain. We've only got 7 hours left.
It's about to start.
Man, it was anyway. I don't want to get long-winded on it, but so we literally just it was like the only option, and so we pulled it off, and we legitimately got the race prepped 4 hours before the gun went off. So we were doing like 19, 20-hour days, and that's not to mention we'd be out marking and it was raining and inclement weather, so we were getting our tails handed to us physically. But then we're also like trying to communicate on walkie-talkies because there's not cell signal a lot of the property. It used to be way worse. It's gotten a lot better these days. And so we did it and it worked. And then from there, Camp Eagle was like, hey, we'll throw in to push in on creating more proper trails. So you'll have to do less connectors through the cabins and all that wonky stuff. And so it just sort of like became, like, okay, this is where we're going to go if this BS happens. And unfortunately, the BS has happened more than once. And so another one of those humbling things where it's like every time we pull it off, even though we've done it, it still isn't ever the exact same way. This trail's overgrown, that one's eroded, that's not really a trail, we're going to make a connector there happen. But we figured out a way to put the aid stations about the same gaps, and what's crazy is it is really like a pretty close mirror topographically of Hill Country State Natural Area in that part of the region out there in Bandera. And so it's pretty crazy how similar it is, but it is definitely not an easy transition. So people, to answer your question, Andrew, the reaction is mostly like, I can't believe y'all pulled this off for us, thank you. But then there's the others that I still haven't been able to figure it out exactly why. I think it's just maybe the aura of it. It's like, it is further from the east side of the state, so I do get that. But, people are like, well, I don't know if I can make my flight afterwards. It's like, well, it's only like an hour and a half difference because you had to drive 40 minutes to get to the back of Hill Country State Natural Area from the town of Bandera where you're staying, or Pipe Creek, 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. So it's only like an hour and a half more total effort driving, and like little, Mazda Miatas and Porsches make it down that dirt road.
Yeah, just run faster too,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
like the cutoff's really, quite long. So it's kind of interesting. We do get that, like, hey, you owe us to break your policy. And we try to be so forthright, right? Like we try to go over the top of like communicating to now there's even a checkbox when you sign up that says, I understand that if this race gets moved, I will not ask Tejas Trails to break their policy and refund me. They're still putting the race on, et cetera, et cetera. So we try to just.
But
be,
you
like,
will
really
still have one. I teach high school. There is always one.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be one. It doesn't matter what box they check. There's always going to be one.
Yeah, I deserve, like the world spins around me. I am the axis of the universe. So I get that, and it's hard to, not let that get to you because it's like a big downer when people come and, chew my ear off about it. And it's like, I'm not asking for sympathy. I know I'm a business I'm delivering a service, like I'm delivering a product. So I get, like I owe you that product, but you're getting it in spades. Like this is a superior location. It's more beautiful. It's got a river. It's got better vistas than Hill Country Natural Area. It's got amenities, a dining hall, a staff out there is unreal. They're so hospitable. So it's actually an upgrade to the event. But I recognize it adds stress. So I don't downplay that. I don't take that lightly. And I don't mean to mock that at all. But it is definitely
beautiful
hard to
camp.
stomach when people
it's
get mad
gorgeous
about
out
it.
there.
But yeah, so it's crazy every time. Hopefully it doesn't happen for a long time. As much as I love my people out at Camp Eagle, I'd like it to just stay where it is because we've got a plan there at Hill Country Natural Area, and it's a much easier event to produce out there. So.
Yep.
Now, before we get into talking about the Frio Trio, which you guys super excited about that, been looking into that, very unique event. Just really quick, while I still have you guys before I lag out. So what in your time together at Tejas has been your most memorable moment or race experience?
Woo, so many of them.
Oh, I'm trying to think of ones that
Everyone
don't
has a
show
favorite
my.
child. I don't want a parent to lie and be like, "Oh, I love them all the same." No, everyone has a favorite moment. You guys got this.
Oh man, you should have prepped me for this one. This is hard. Okay, Dave, jump in if you
Yeah.
got it. I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
I mean, all the ones I think of are like miserable. In retrospect, they're good, but they're challenges. Mm,
I mean, my
I
brain. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
no, please go ahead if you got one.
No, I just say my
Just
brain keeps like picturing. I wanted to say a different race because we have 17 of them, but I keep picturing Rocky Raccoon 100 in particular. Rocky 50's got the same images, but Rocky 100 is particularly in my head. It's the magical last hour and a half, 2 hours of the event, and people are coming around. Used to be down the power line, but now it's around by the lake, and you can see them from across the lawn if you're standing over in the field by the portaloos, and they come around and like just the toughest looking hombres on the planet, tatted out, probably have killed people with their bare hands in military combat, and they just start like weeping. And then the whole crowd, their families there, and the tears and the emotions, and you just like see how long they fought, and they like had, because a lot of people that don't do this stuff, they don't understand. Or for those that are listening and you've never done an ultra, or you've never done, like maybe you've done a 5K and you have the thought of like trying a 10K but you're scared of it, man, like when you do your next distance, whether it's a 10K or a 5K, if you've never done more than a jog around the block, or an ultra, or like what Andrew's gotten into, and Stephanie done some really crazy long stuff, um, 200 plus milers. But it's like that moment when you've not just gone through a wall, you've like beat down, flipping like endless wall, like so many. You've hit the wall like 12 times or whatever. You've been at your wits end multiple times, and now you've gone up and you've got another sunrise, and it's like you're gonna do it, and then they get around and all that comes out. I mean, yeah, that's the
hmm
moment. So I can't
yeah.
say one individual person, but that particular moment is like that's the magic spot.
And my thoughts were going in the same way. I mean, there's lots of great stories, like moving races and surprises in the, you know, cow that ate all of the signs or whatever it is. But the same thing around just the people and the connections. And I keep thinking of, you know, even on the other end of that, we get folks who signed up for a 5K or an 8 miler, and they've been doing their jingle run in town or whatever, and they come out and they're like, "This is a trail run." I remember getting asked, as the sun was coming up before a race one morning. Somebody asked me, "Is the course lit?" No. You have a phone, you got a light, and but then, man, they come back at the end and their eyes are so wide. First of all, they're like, "That was so hard. It was awesome." And those people, and just seeing their world kind of expand a little bit into what we love about the trails and the outdoors and the experience, that those are really rewarding, uh, because everybody's experience is special, even if it
Right.
is your first time to be out in the middle of the woods by yourself, running. Seeing people do that for the first time is also very rewarding.
Yeah, and to
And
pinpoint that story with the signs and the cow, that was definitely one of my memories that I wish I didn't have, but it's so funny thinking about. So we had this race called Mosaic Trail Race that was at this private ranch. I literally built the trails out there, with the help of PJ and some others, and so put this race together, and is another one that was like getting the trail system built, while we're getting ready to host the race. Like I'm course marking and still cutting trail simultaneously the week of, and they had cattle that was running their ranch, and they were going to move it closer to go time, and the stupid cattle kept literally biting the signs off the stakes and chewing on them. I'd come around a bend and be like, "Mother freaking, you got to be kidding me!" And it'd be like 17 signs in a row were gone because it's all new trail, so it had to have a bunch of signs and stakes, and it was all twisty turny trail. And I like it had so I started marking on Monday of race week, and every single day I remarked because of the cattle. I was like, I literally don't know how I'm gonna figure this out. And like, so finally we just decided to just wake up at 5 a.m. and go do a lap before packet pickup started at 6, and staple them all back on. But there's teeth marks out of the sides of endless signs, slobber, nasty spit all over them.
Yep.
That's so crazy.
All right, yeah. So, like Sebi and I alluded to, our one of our earliest memories, Rocky Raccoon. Fantastic experience. Had the most intense dental pain of my life, and ran around with Orajel. I'll never forget that. But
In
anyways,
a Bucky's costume because he didn't
Yeah,
bring warm
probably.
in a
clothes.
buck, I didn't bring any warm clothes, so
That
we were
tracks. That tracks.
pacing someone at like 30-minute miles, and that thing is it's pretty intense. But so moving on, so you guys have a pretty cool event coming up here in the beginning
Hmm.
of October, and I've been looking a little bit into it. It's has a little bit of everything, and so we're excited to have you guys talk more about this upcoming Frio Trio race of yours. I'm sure you guys have been hard at work at it. So yeah, so could one of you tell us about what's going on with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. How about I'll tell the intro back in how it got to the surface, and you can tell them from there. Does that sound good, Dave?
Sounds good.
So, cool. So, man, the town of Leakey, in particular, so it's in the Frio Valley region, as they call it. But the first town along that line there is Leakey. It takes place in the race is going to take place in Leakey, Concan, and Uvalde, Real counties and Uvalde counties. And so a dear friend of mine and Dave's uh, hollered at us and said, "Hey, you got to come check out this trail system that we've got built." And it literally spits out right into the old historic downtown of Leakey. And so, we're like, "Yeah, I'll get out there as soon as we can," but didn't really work out for a while, and so finally got out there, and it's truly like really cool. It reminds me of kind of a like a mountain town or European village where you have the trail system and it spits you out, and then downtown there's the cool couple of bars and breweries and restaurants and coffee shop and the old courthouse is right there in plain sight across the street. And so they call that Bouchong Mountain Park, and it's awesome. There's a bunch of kind of beginner-friendly trail at the base of it, and then there's a couple of big chossy hills that form up in the middle and back into the park. And so they built these trails that go all up into that and get kind of technical, and they built a big bomber downhill mountain bike route. And so it's really great, like proper trail system, like right there in Leakey, Texas. It's unbelievable. So then from there, they've got all these different privately owned ranches. Some of them are doing things for public use, to involve people coming out for venue use, like retreats and weddings and stuff like that. So they got in on it, and so they started building trail and allowing their Jeep roads, which are all, beat in and fairly groomed. But some of these ranches have some of the prettiest views of anywhere I've seen anywhere in this part of the region. Yeah, I'm talking like blue holes, gorgeous river sections. It's unbelievable. And it's just all on these private ranches that you would never see without an invitation or a race to say this is a part of the course that you can come utilize. So these magic spots are all over the place out there. And then Garner State Park is at the farthest end of what we're utilizing on that side of town. And so, for those that don't know, Garner State Park is one of the most visited state parks in the state. It's either first or second or third each year, depending on vegetation. And they have the same thing, beautiful, cold Frio River that goes through there. And it's dammed up at the farthest edge of Garner State Park. And there's Baldy Peak and these massive hills that go up 300 or more feet, abrupt change of elevation. And so they basically, the ask was if we would come look at building out an event that would bring people in to help them grow their tourism outside of the summer months, because they have a massive population of visitors that comes through. But it's like, I forget, I don't want to make up the wrong number, but it's 80 something percent or maybe even 90% all in the summer months. So they do get
Oh,
a big,
Hmm.
hit in the fall when the leaves change colors. That's one of the only places around, Central and South Texas where you have fall colors. But that was kind of their ask. Like, can you think of a way to help us get people out here to one, learn about Bushong Mountain Park and these other trail systems that people can now utilize, but also bigger than that, even I would say, or not bigger than, but more immediacy was to like help us get people out here not in May to August. And so we started racking our brains, and I've always had this image in my head, but could never really get there to put it together. But I always wanted to put together a race that incorporated all the different or an event that put together all the different types of endurance sports, all the different dirt sports. And so with the Frio River spanning that area, it also adds an opportunity to do float trips and stand-up paddleboard races. And so basically this was like, it all kind of came together. Like the puzzle pieces just started fitting, and it was just, this was like the perfect answer. So I wanted to create a race that incorporated mountain biking, gravel bike riding, gravel bike racing, trail running, obviously, and then I wanted to have like a less technical trail race, so those that have never run trails would feel comfortable giving it a shot. So kind of like a cross-country style race, so wider, more open paths, and then from there adding in stand-up paddleboarding and a recreational float trip. So that was kind of like the different pieces to it that I realized could all go in. And so then it was a matter of like trying to figure out how to format it together and give it some identification and something that was like kind of logical. So that's where Dave, got my basic thought and made it into something tangible. So I'm going to take it from there, Senor Dave.
Sure. Exactly, Chris, you teed it up really well. It's like all the things we love about trails and the outdoors and being active in those, that Chris and I both had the opportunity to do different ways, not just trail running, but biking and paddling and all those things, and the community that we love about trail running, outdoors community, and love the Tejas Trails community. How do we put that all together? So October 2nd and 3rd this year, we're calling it the Frio Trio Zero Edition. And by Zero Edition, we've kind of focused it in to make sure we get a good experience for the first year. Still going to be the best experience we can deliver. And so on Friday night, we're going to kick off. There's going to be opening ceremonies with the first ever traditional ceremonial launch that Chris doesn't know what it is yet, because he is going to be the I hate to say the brunt of the joke. So Chris, don't listen. So we'll do that Friday night, and then we'll have a 10-mile and 50K in Bushong Mountain Park. So you imagine downtown, little town, music's going, the rustic Frios serving drinks, and you're lapping through there on your run, or you're cheering people. And that'll go cut off 3 a.m. or something like that.
4:50
all this
p.m.
is
as for now.
Yep, it's all on the website, friotrio.com. And then we'll get a little bit of sleep, and then we will have the gravel bike, and using those Jeep roads that Chris described, 60-mile and 33-mile. We're going to offer to join in on a float trip on Saturday during the middle of the day, and then the afternoon we're going to go over to Garner State Park for a very traditional trail run with a 5K and a half marathon. I hope I'm getting all this right, Chris.
Yep.
It's not like it hasn't changed over the past couple of weeks as we've been dialing it in. 5K and half marathon, and Baldy is in the 5K, right?
It is. Yeah, it's going to be.
Yes.
I don't like using superlatives with races because, it's whatever, but it's probably for sure safe to say one of the hardest 5Ks around. It's going to be a butt kicker, but plenty of time to hike it out. So.
Yep, and it finishes right on the Frio River, and then we will go over to our good friend's place called Camp Cold Springs, and just celebrate the night away there, having good meals, drinks, the river. They have beautiful, we'll take dips in the river at Camp Cold Springs until the wee hours. on Saturday night. We're also going to offer a group run and a group ride on Sunday morning for those who aren't too hungover, and on Sunday. So that's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have hundreds and hundreds of people out there. The town of Leakey in Concan, Uvalde County, they are stoked. I mean, I got to go for the first time last week, and I mean, I walked in and everybody knew we were coming and they were excited. And how can we be a part of this? So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to bring together all the things we love about these outdoor sports, community together in one fun weekend.
Okay, so can I ask logistics? I want to throw out
Yes, please.
Andrew told me nothing. Okay, so
Good.
I've not researched.
Great.
Like I don't have, so I'm coming in just from what y'all said. So can people do one part, or is it they do everything?
So we did next year, we will have the Frio Fanatic and the
Okay.
Frio Team Championship, which will be you've got to do the longest distance in 5 races. We're not doing that this year. So this year it is a la carte. You can do whatever you want
But you can do
of each of them.
two, so you could do, yeah, so you can sign up for each piece, whatever you want.
Yep, you can do the Friday night, sleep in Saturday morning, and then join the run on Saturday afternoon. We do love to encourage people to volunteer. You know, if you can
Oh, that's a
come,
good idea too.
you know, if you're
If
taking
you're
a
gonna
break,
skip a part, yeah, volunteer.
jump
That's
in
a
and
good
pitch in,
thought.
help others. But yeah, it's this year. It's a la carte, and then expect next year the first full edition, the Frio Fanatic, for those who are crazy enough to do all of them.
Okay, are they starting one after another? So when you finish the bike, you can do the paddleboard, or are you gonna everything starts at a specific time?
You can make all of them. So you will, you know, even did we get to the slowest predicted finisher can make all of them. It'll be really tight on a couple of them, but you can make
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah, we made it where the cut. So there is a mass start, just like a traditional race for every
Okay.
single race. So it's designed, because that was one of the temptations for sure. I really was tempted to make it just like a full-on relay race, and um, but we decided to not do that because a little bit
Chris has an
similar.
adventure racing background, you know, like 10-day adventure races. So we were all like, whoa there, buddy. Let's bring this back to normal people. Okay. Go
So
ahead, Chris.
I
Yeah.
like the mass starts because whenever, like, just like with the last person standing, every time you start new, you have elite, and every level you're like, I'm starting with elite. So if you have people with a mass start, they're like, oh, I saw you earlier in the day. It's not like you're 10 hours ahead of me.
Right.
It's like now we're starting at the next place. And then I take my time, you don't, and then we meet back at the same time. So I like the mass start, like breaking it up for sure.
Yeah, that's cool to hear. Yeah, that piece to it, we wanted to make it where, like, after we went back and forth with all these millions of different combinations of how to do it, we landed on, everyone agreed that it was like the coolest thing would be what you just said, fresh start each time. That way, again, next year if someone does want to go for the Frio Fanatic Challenge, not that you have to, because next year you can just do one race also, or 2 races, or 3, or whatever. But that way, if someone wanted to go for broke, they would be able to, like, finish what they started with the first race, and then they can decide to push themselves and have a longer gap, just like a last person standing, or they can take it easy and barely make cutoff and then float right into the next race. But for those that are already pretty good at, especially gravel bike racing, that's obviously the longest distance. That's, well, I'll say the night trail run, for those that can handle their stuff at night, they're going to have lots of time before the next morning. Because the cutoff, we're leaving like really long cutoffs for everything, like we do for all of our races, but even more so for this. So then those that are decent on a bike, they'll be able to finish the gravel bike race like way before the afternoon trail run starts. But those that are not as comfortable and they're like, hey, I'm going to challenge myself and go for the long distance on the gravel bike race, they're going to, have a little bit of time still to get done, lay on the concrete, get a beer from Rustic Frio, or Rustic 83, I mean, get some food from the food truck or the restaurant right there, and then make their way to Garner State Park. And the other thing to mention is that every race location, it's either downtown Leakey or it's at Garner State Park. and the whole distance from one place to another is 11 minutes driving. So it's
Oh, that's
very
awesome.
compact. So I almost forgot to say that because it sounds like, oh, it's going to be this big driving effort, and it's not that at all. It's like very small amount of space total. So it works out really well. And then for families and friends that want to go crew or support or just go, mess around while their loved one or friend is racing, they can, just bebop over to the next spot, go check out some antiques, and then make their way to Garner and jump in and relax and be in the river and do the float trip and make it over to the next start line. And, it's going to be really laid back feeling. Our hope was that there was like loads of racing, but on the same token, on the flip side of that coin, where it felt really chill.
Okay, so you keep saying float trip. Are you meaning paddleboard,
So
or is there something something else?
yeah, I'm glad you asked us to clarify. Yeah, we didn't say that very clearly. So the float trip, this area is like that's what it's known for. The Frio River is one of the most floated sections of water in all of Texas, and so we're teaming up with Happy Hollow. They're awesome. Met the owners, and they're gonna greet us in and take care of us. So people are gonna have two different start times options to go do just a regular traditional float trip. But then we also will have it where if people want to bring their own stand-up paddle boards or kayaks, they can for sure do that. But then next year, we're going to be adding a stand-up paddleboard competition as a part of this. So most likely, like 99% sure. So, but for this year, we're not going to do the stand-up paddleboard race, but it'll just be a regular old sit back in the tube with your koozie and your snacks, your Funyuns in one hand, and just relax, cruise down. They'll pick you up, bring you back out, and then go get some lunch, and then make your way to the afternoon trail run or whatever you want to do.
Okay, so that was my next question: is if y'all are providing the paddleboard. So if you want to bring your own paddleboard or kayak, then you can do that aspect or rent one.
Yeah, for this year, that's one of the things that we decided to kind of trim the fat on, so to speak, going down to the Zero Edition concept. And one of the biggest things that we failed to mention is like the most exciting part of what we decided to do. So we had opened up registration before the flooding hit Uvalde and Real counties and Kerrville and all those areas really bad. And so once it hit, we decided to kind of take a step back and really think about the heart of this. And like I said, part of the heart was to create an event that we were proud of and that we thought was kind of interesting and unique, which is kind of hard to do this day and age since there's so many events out there. But the other half of that was to honor those people that are the small business owners in that area and bring them more business. So then when the flooding hit, thank God Leakey and Concan didn't really suffer a lot. There, I don't mean it. I shouldn't have said that. There were people that did have house damage, and that's every single person is a huge deal. But compared to other areas, they didn't get demolished. Like Uvalde is really bad just down the road. Kerrville is obviously in a really bad spot again, heartbreaking. So, but Leakey and Concan didn't really get hit like that, just the way that the river waterways flow. So all that to say, it wasn't like they were in a bad spot and they needed us to do this, but we just felt like it was a better idea and a more honoring thing to do for this year. So we actually opened up registration for free. So we just let in 250 people for free or more, and now we've jumped that to $25. So we made it free until 250 people or whatever the number was, and then only $25 now. So you can race any number of races you want for now, as of today, only $25 per race. So we're basically going to take a
Wow.
financial hit this year to get people there. So then our hope, our communication, we want to tell people and tell your friends, like, don't worry about the money for the race. That's on us. Get there and go spend your money on lodging and food and bless those people that are the small business owners there. And then next year, we'll do it at normal registration fees.
That's awesome. Like that is the best way to get people to try it. Like there's no risk. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? Like if something happens, like I have races in my head that I'm going to sign up for, but I'm like, wait, what if I want to switch this and do that?
Hmm.
But it's like, just sign up and you're going to
Hmm.
get people to go out there and, okay, so
Yep.
$25 and they can do as many of these races as they want for the weekend.
Yeah, well, the semantics, make sure I'm saying it clearly. So it's $25 per race as of today. The free ones just got used up. But yeah, so 25 bucks to do the 50K night ultra trail. Uh, 25 bucks to do the 60-mile gravel bike race. 25 bucks to
My
do the
word,
5K daytime run.
that's an easy sell for a spouse. Like I'm not
Yeah.
married. No, nobody answers. Like I don't answer to anybody, but I'm like, man, for those people that are like, you know, I could, you could do 5 races for
Hmm.
$125. Like you cannot beat that. Like a whole weekend worth of activities, and it sounds like there's tons of stuff for the family to do
Hmm.
in the
The youth
area
1 mile
within that.
is going to be free the whole time. So that
And what day is
we're
that? Is that on a
that's going to be
Saturday or
Saturday afternoon.
okay?
And man, we have a great number there, so we know people are making family events out of it, and bringing their kids. So that's going to be free the whole time. But yeah, you can't race for much less than that anywhere in Texas.
Okay, so my next question that's not about logistics. How nervous are y'all about stepping out of the trail running like racing part? Like you have to have a little of like there's unknown that you don't know what's gonna happen.
I might be a little bit nervous having never uh, put on a bike race or a paddleboard race, but Mr. McWatters is the triathlon production guy. So
Okay, so that's not out of
he
your
keeps
element.
telling me, "Don't worry, Dave, it'll be fine." Well, what do we do when their bike breaks down? Don't worry, it'll be fine.
You're gonna learn. That's what he's
I'm
saying.
gonna
You're
That's
learn.
gonna you're
Yes.
gonna learn really quick.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I appreciate you asking it. There's definitely unknowns with any event for the first year, even if it's just another trail run. So I don't ever take that lightly. Don't ever get too big for your britches. Is what Granddad always told me. But the good part is yeah, I've been a part of putting on every type of endurance sport before, whether it was my show or someone else's that I was working with them or for them, and the coming from I owned and operated a large scale triathlon company for about half a decade, and road races are definitely different in a handful of ways, but this is another sort of in between. It's so interesting, just even like the sheriff and the deputies out there, the downtown, the city, the stakeholders are all so just joyful and helpful and wanting the event. It's so cool. Like I never got that love putting on a
On
race
the
in
road when you're
downtown
taking their
Houston.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah. When you
that
block in their
never.
traffic.
Yeah, like you always feel like when you're putting on a road race. Or I got my start in track and field, and so I was a meet director for championship track and field meets, and like qualifiers through district, state, regional, nationals. And so like you never feel like you're where people want you. Like you're always like walking on eggshells, like, oh, I gotta figure out how these people want me to dance, and I gotta dance for them so they can let me come back and put the road race on next year. Man, this is different. Like the people are so cool, and they're just like,
Mhm.
whatever we can do to make it work. Yeah, we'll get an extra deputy out there for that intersection, and we'll, downtown, like y'all can have the courthouse lawn for no charge.
Yep.
Just like it's crazy.
That
So
reminds me, Chris. We were in there, and we went to the courthouse to find the sheriff, and learned the sheriff has moved offices recently, and he's at a substation. And we're walking around, and we're driving away from the courthouse, and I'm like, Chris, an officer just walked out of the library over there. So slinging the Bronco around the corner, and sure enough, Sergeant Lipton, nicest dude, knew something about the race, stood in the heat and talked to us and took notes, and it's taking the message back to help. It's just the reception and hospitality has been great.
It's always nice when a town invites you to come and do
Hmm.
event. Like up here in Paris, Texas, they're like, come bring people out. And then they had like the mayor came to the race and like went around to canopies and talked to people. And they had local people volunteering, like
Hmm.
because
We got
they
that.
want you to come out. And like if you're giving, especially, I mean, it's zero year, but like if you're bringing people out, when you get to these small towns and they hear about it, or even
Mhm.
like Butte, Montana, it's out in the middle of nowhere. But then when they know that you're in there for the race, it's like they're so welcoming. It's nice to have a town that's like asking you to
Mhm.
come out and visit.
Yep, totally. And
Yeah.
it's on us to be great guests and leave nothing behind and do everything, bend over backwards on how we can move a start line or whatever, just to make sure we're really good guests as well, and respectful of their hospitality, because they're awesome.
So my other question is, were y'all just bored to want to take on a project this big? Like my race calendar is not big enough. I mean, like this is a beast.
Man.
This is a whole weekend and not like a 30-hour event. This is like, so many separate pieces.
Oh my gosh, you nailed it.
Ask us again at the end of the
You
first
nailed
weekend.
it. Well, it's funny. Like we actually said, you know, I don't think we've ever said this publicly, but I've never really meant to, and we've strategically, Dave and I have talked since he came in as the front face for Tejas Trails last couple of years. It's like I strategically am not wanting to and planning on adding multiple new events, and so we really weren't looking to add a single new one at all. But I have had my eye
Actually, I
on.
think we may have pinky swore we wouldn't.
Yeah,
Um,
that's safe to say. Yeah,
yeah.
between us, yeah, like I won't do this to you, Dave.
right,
Um,
right.
but but I've had my eye on, like I mentioned before, these couple of different ideas that are outside the box and maybe done elsewhere in the world, but I haven't been a part of the exact format. And I've got a couple other ideas I've been percolating on, that have been percolating for a while, and largely thanks to Dave for coming into Tejas Trails full force and giving me some bandwidth to be able to breathe a little bit and be a good dad and husband, and not be working 80-hour weeks over and over. But kind of all that to lead to, there's been this idea of not really letting ourselves add just any old regular trail run. And we might, do that here and there when opportunity, just can't pass it away. But there's just, more than anyone, Stephanie, there's so many new small scale trail runs. And please hear me, I'm not bashing anyone out there that's adding a new trail run, but it's just white noise now. It's just like, meh, meh, that's cute, whatever. Like even if I, came up with something, it's just another trail run, it's not going to be that big of a deal anymore. And so kind of like safeguarding ourselves, trying to do well with what we have, because we still have a lot of areas to improve on, a lot of details that we can firm up, a lot of ways we can take care of our registrants and our volunteers better. And so we're excited to like work on excellence. But yeah, man, the thrill of that, like, all right, this is gonna suck in a whole lot of ways. And yeah, that's kind of a race director's way of like doing another ultra, like just sort of like gonna go out in the woods and just get my tail handed to me on repeat, and it's gonna be flipping awesome. What's gonna come of it?
Yep, yep.
So I've taught, this is year 18, and they have thrown some curveballs at me this year
Yeah.
that are like massive, and I'm like, maybe it's time for a little challenge. Let's see like what I can do with this. Let's test like how good of a teacher I am. And the stories are
Love
going to
it.
be better because some shit's going to go wrong. So I'm going to be coming with some really good stories from high
Can't
school.
wait.
But it's like when you see like, okay, this is going to be terrifying, but at the same time stimulating and like
Hmm.
making you like think harder and that stuff. I love that they offered like, hey, come bring people to our town, and you're like, if I do this, I'm going to do this idea in the back of my head that I've been
Hmm.
sitting on. Like we're going to make
Yes.
this thing.
Yeah.
Yep,
Uh,
yep.
yes, yes, exactly.
Really? Yeah. You were asking about logistics. One of the things that we are getting asked, and it's lives on the website. So first year, we're not doing any plant meal tickets or planning, meals except for Saturday night, but that's still going to be pay when you get there. We got some people bringing breakfast burritos and stuff on Saturday morning, but that'll be pay as you go. Um, Lunch on Saturday is on your own. There are incredible restaurants. Um, We went to Gypsy Sally's. That was an incredible burger. Um, Great places around there. And lodging is on your own, but we have some lodges that have stepped up, and it's on the website for at friotrio.com that says here's what they're great at, and here's there's kind of place, and we've checked them all out. So book quickly so that you get a good spot. But this year we couldn't come up with a solution that was fit enough people and their needs, especially year one. So people can, it's online. People can do it on their own, whatever price they want to be spending, that kind of thing. Camping is an option as well. So that's one of
And
the logistics things.
you'll learn what everyone likes. Like
Hmm.
y'all are gonna learn so much from this and like how to change it. So I love that y'all are calling it 0 year. Like if something goes wrong, you know, we're just trying to figure it out. So that is awesome. So I didn't even know that y'all were doing something so epic. Andrew's just like, even though I want y'all to know, Andrew checked out quite a while ago, like
It's,
30
You
minutes
call it
ago.
that.
he had to
Yeah,
go to his day job.
he just slipped out. Um, but he was like, "Hey, do you want to record?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to come on. Let's see what's going on." And so this is like awesome. Like I'm ready
Love
to
it.
like spread the word, and like I love that y'all are offering $25. Well, you offered 250 free entries. We're gonna start with
Hmm.
that. But now,
Yeah.
$25 a race, you cannot beat that. You can't get a 50K for under 100K some places. Now, the
Hmm.
grassroots I go, there's like no chip timing. It's $50. You're gonna have to pay for your buckle at the end. So, like, there's some grassroots out there that
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
cheap, but
Yeah.
um, I love that this is gonna be such a huge event. So we will
Hmm.
definitely spread the word.
That
Thank
means a
you.
lot. Yeah.
Okay, so we usually wrap this up with something that you can't let go, something that's on your mind. And so Andrew sent his. So even though he logged off, he was like,
Okay.
"Hey, I want to share what." So it can be running related or it cannot be running related. So Andrew said, "My can't let go is how damn hot it is in Denver, but how crazy my solo ventures have been. Everyone out here is super friendly and made a bit of friends already, but I'm going back and forth between here and Texas often." So off camera, he mentioned that there's something he's alluding to something that he won't tell us. So we will ask him questions once he's back on. But
Hmm.
he's up to
Oh
something
man,
that we don't know
Hmm.
yet.
he
We
loves
have
that
this.
elusive crap.
Yes, he has
Hmm.
always done this. I mean, like,
That's his
we've
MO.
always yes. So I will get to the bottom of it
Okay.
Yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
but
Let
it's
us
gonna
know.
take
Text
us
us
some
what you
time.
find out.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And then my can't let it go is just like today was my first day of school and like they have thrown me like I'm gonna have so much work. So I'm just gonna have to be that much better at my job, which I can do, but
Man.
it's gonna take me a minute to get to my like efficient form. And I'm probably gonna do a lot of running for my sanity for
Yep.
a
That's
few
good.
weeks until I can get there. So it's
And
like,
and for the safety of your
yes, of
students, or
everybody involved.
the yeah.
It's like I was driving to work and people were like, I mean, because I teach high school, so I have kids that are brand new drivers. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I am surrounded by people that don't know how to drive. And I was like, I don't think I ran long enough to deal with this
Right.
morning. Maybe 8 miles was not enough. Like maybe
Right.
we need to get up earlier.
That
So
is
Yep.
that's where
Yep.
I'm
awesome.
at. Like I am in the thick of it, but I do still have a positive attitude. Like I'm taking it on as a challenge.
Mm,
We'll see in a
Hmm.
week if I feel the same
love
way.
it.
But like today, I'm like, okay, let's bring it on.
Love
Okay,
it.
so Chris, what is
Yeah.
your can't let go? What's on your mind?
Oh man, this is so cool. It's like I get to whine for a second and everyone has to listen. I love it. Um,
Yes.
Man, no, so I jacked my foot up
Oh
right
no.
after I messed my shoulder up, and when I messed my shoulder, I was like, well, at least I'm running a lot, so that's more than I've been able to do, so that's good. Well, I broke a few toes playing beach volleyball with my daughter and wife and some friends, and so it was this total old man moment, just frustrating as crud. And so now, I was like, well, okay, I'm just gonna lift a lot. I need that, obviously, my scrawny butt. And So now my shoulders feeling like junk. So I can only do like 5 lifts total, and I can't do push-ups because I can't put any weight on my toes, and I can't hardly walk. So, but with that, I've started making progress. Like day before yesterday, I felt like okay, it's hurting a lot less. I was just like down in the dumps. My optimism is slowly, making its way north again, and so I've been like, today I've been like beating this in my head, just saying like, got to figure out what you can do, and be okay doing that. So that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, I love
Good
it.
for you. Good for you.
Okay, Dave, what's your can't let it go? What's on your mind?
I'm right there with Andrew on the heat. I'm so ready for sub triple digit days. August is the month that I'm like, why do we live in Texas? I can't remember. Comes back to me in, October and January, February. I'm always like, okay, yeah, that's great. But the thing that I keep thinking about is in Leakey, Texas, at the historic Leakey Inn. No, yeah, the historic Leakey Inn, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Brad and his wife Dallas served me a chicken fried steak that my grandfather would have said is good enough to make you smack your mama-in-law. That was so good. Jalapenos on top. The gravy was like just liquid side of solid. It was so the chicken fried steak at Historic Leakey Inn, that's what's on my mind.
That makes me feel like I need to go down
You
there.
need to
I need to
you
go
need to try
order.
it.
Oh
Dallas
man,
is the chef. She's awesome. We maybe Chris, can we like get that in an aid station?
I
We should
know.
get us some to
That's
put in
what,
an aid station.
man. Yeah, we're gonna just make their place the aid station.
Yeah, I'll work it. I volunteer.
Well, that'll be awesome. So while the people, whoever's doing the activity, the family can be eating it, because I feel like I'm always the one
Exactly.
running, and I'm not the one getting the good food, but my
Yeah.
support crew is out there getting
Yes.
the awesome
Hmm.
food.
Yep.
Love it.
Okay, well, thank y'all for coming on and
Thank
sharing.
you.
Like, this is a big deal. I'm ready to like spread the word, and I love all the options y'all have. So this will be awesome to follow along. We'll have you back on when you're in the reflective mode to see how y'all feel, whether, what went right
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
changed.
There will
It's
be some
Yeah.
awesome to,
stories to tell. I'm pretty
oh,
sure.
There
for
will be.
sure. Oh, for sure. It's awesome to hear about it before it happens. Like now it's like just a vision, and then it'll
Hmm.
all come together. But y'all are respecting it by saying it's the 0 year. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you're saying like, hey, things are going to change next year. Like right now, this is what we have in mind. So I love that piece too.
Yeah, we're looking to learn a lot. We're going to be asking for feedback all weekend in at the time or in then afterwards, so that we can all shape it together for the next year.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, thank y'all for coming on. We're going to wrap
Thank
this
you.
up.
Thank you
Happy
so
endings.
much.